Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and in today's video we're going to be doing something different on the 8.3 PTR. Now, with 8.3 PTR, Blizzard decided to add a new vendor that has to do with the islands. You know, the thing you do once a week, mostly for the AP gain. Some people like doing islands for the toys and the pets and even the mounts that you may be able to get. Now, the RNG with the islands is it's a give or take system. Most people just have to farm them in order to get the stuff that you want. If you're someone who's never really been into islands, this new update in 8.3 might have you maybe doing more with islands here and there. So they added a new vendor for the islands. Normally there's a doubloons vendor, which made doubloons a lot more usable. You can actually get gear if you decide to level through islands, and you can get some reputation items, as well as transmogs and, of course, the mount. Any flying mounts, but also non-flying mounts. And in 8.3 PTR, they added Captain Kit. And there's one, not a Volpera, but another one of those guys on the Alliance side that's also an NPC with High Seas Salvage Expert. This NPC, when you talk to them, sells you these salvages. Havenswood Salvage, we got ourselves Snow Blossom Salvage, and Viridian Wild Salvage. Now, I believe that these salvages all depend to the different types of islands that you may be able to play for the day. For example, we got Skittering Hollow, Rottenmire, Viridian Wilds. So I think one of them is Viridian, but the other one is definitely not Snow Blossom. Yeah, Viridian Wilds we got here, but Havenswood and Snow Blossom aren't on the map. So those aren't in rotation for this week. So this guy, it seems like, will have maybe one that has to do with one of the maps that's applicable for this week. And then you'll have the other two that are out of the rotation for the other weeks. Basically, the NPC sells you these salvages, and these salvages, salvage goods from the Gilnean island inhabited by feral worgen, old god minions, and dark necromancers. So what this is a salvage from Heavenwood, the island that you can travel to, depending on the rotation, and it'll have one of the items from either feral worgen, the old god minions, or the dark necromancers, being that it could have any of the toys, pets, or mounts that come from those factions. Then we also have Snow Blossom Village, which has salvage goods from Dalaran Islands inhabited by Mantid, Mogu, and Vermin. And finally, Viridian Wilds will have Furbolgs, Druids, and Keepers. So, in a sense, this is another way for you to spend your doubloons in order to buy these salvages for a chance at more of the goodies in the islands. Basically, in a way, loot boxes. So, in this video, I want to open up a couple of these island loot boxes, maybe like 20 of them, to see what I get out of them, to see what kind of rewards they will be. I think we'll end up doing, like, let's do 5 Havenswood salvage, maybe 5 Snow Blossom, then maybe 5 Viridian, and then we'll do probably like a mix of random for both for the last 5 or something. So we're gonna open up the Havenswood. This is the first time I'm actually doing this, and we actually don't have any more except for one Viridian Wild. So actually let's do 2 of these just to see what we get out of here. And you may sell them back, so this will be a way for people that do islands. You have not a lot of reasons to spend the currency. When you accumulate enough of the currency from doing the islands, you should be able to buy some of the stuff from the vendors. So in the first row, we actually got a pet, a PvE transmog item, and a weapon. Oh, okay, so that's a recolor. And we got Lord Woofington. Okay, what about the other one? Viridian Wild Salvage. Huh. Okay, so you can get items like for Magni to be able to get some rep. Again, also another transmog piece. And again, another pet. So this is literally loot boxes. Literally loot boxes. Alright, so now I just need to do the process of copying a character over and doing this. How many more times? So I got 2 boxes from this time. So I need 18 more or something? I think. Alright, this time I think we'll get the Snow Blossom Village. And I guess we'll get Viridian Vials just so we can open more of these. What will Snow Blossom have? I got 2 of the same pants and a polearm. That looks kind of funky. Actually, the pants do kind of look cool. It's like a Legion remog, isn't it? Oh, it's a clothy. So it is a Legion remog, I think, from first raid set for Warlocks, maybe? And we got Fellbark gloves, which I guess look kind of cool. We got a staff. That actually looks kind of gnarly. And we got a pet. A needleback pup. I wonder what are the chances of you of getting a mount. Okay, we got another Havenswood salvage. And that will have Dark Animator's Cowl, Rotten Ghoul, and Duskhaven slippers. The Duskhaven stuff, at least the gear, is actually quite good. Except the slippers, maybe they're one of the lesser looking pieces. The cowl is just... Is this literally it? Is it just a hoodie? And a Rotten Ghoul. And from the Viridian, we got ourselves a reputation item. Grants 250 reputation within shackled, so that's not an item you can buy. So that is a RNG item you can get. Are they gonna start adding glittering abyssal conch? Aren't those things around in Legitar? So you can actually get some rep items from here. That's kind of rare. We also got a spirit, what is it called? Spirit brought belt. Doesn't really look like much. And also, Scritches, another pet. So you can actually get some rare stuff like this. Still, no mount, and we are at about 6 boxes. We got another Havenswood salvage. And here we'll have a mount. Okay, hold on. We got some stuff here. So first of all, we got a Shimmering Shell. And it says Jenna would be interested in that item. It looks like Jenna might be one of the Voldenai. So we got ourselves a regular Voldenai item. That's worth 100 doubloons at least. So whatever the amount of... I guess if you were to put a price on one of these salvages, 175, like... That's 100 off. So 75, I think a mount definitely counts for more than 75. Plus we also got Dusthaven breeches, which is part of like that Worgen Gilnean like fancy attire, which are... I don't know how rare these are, but they look better. And finally Risen Mare. That's my first mount from these. What does he look like? Something terrible happened to the last town of Havenswood. All this is an undead horse without any barding on the side. Is that it? I feel like I could just go to the undead broil area and just buy one of these, but I guess this is kind of... Yeah, I feel like it definitely is missing that barding or that cloak cover on the side. So it's like a full-on undead horse. Unless this is just like one of the original horses you get as a first-time mount. I could be wrong. I might... Does it look... I guess it looks cool. I guess it's alright. I'm just excited it's my first mount. Finally, we got Viridian Wild Salvage. And this time we got Layered Information Kernel E Steam. Whatever that is. I'm gonna guess it's a Mechagon item. Then we have ourselves Spirit Ball Crown. Oh, okay, that's kind of look cool. So that's the Spirit Ball items that are a recolor of Firelands, which does look kind of cool. And then we got Little Hoof, which is another pet. So the next 2 boxes are going to be my 9th and 10th boxes. And what I think I'll do afterwards is I'll only open up Havenswood Salvage and Snow Blossom Salvage for the last 10. It looks like Viridian Wilds isn't blue, so there's a good chance there's not going to be a mount. There could be. I'm not saying there isn't, but it isn't blue. There's a reason why these are purple. There's probably a good chance that you can get a mount from any of the factions that you can get from either the Feral Worgen, Old God, Dark Necromancers, or Manted Mogu Vermin. So I'm going to open these 2 for the last, but let's do one more Snow Blossom together with Viridian Wilds for my 9th and 10th. Next is going to be Slow Blossom. We got 4 items here, and one of them is a mount. Okay, so I was genuinely surprised by the fact that I got a mount, and I thought that was going to be very rare. But now the surprises are kind of starting to wane. We got Swan Fury Foot Wraps, which are the Warlock recolor. We got also the chest, Tomb Keeper's Breastplate, which is a Pandaria Warrior recolor. And then Tomb Keeper's Girdle, which is again Pandaria Warrior recolor. I like that color though. And then we got ourselves Stonehide Elderhorn, which is a moose. So has one of a few types of moose that inhabit the island climates have thinner fur than most Elderhorns. Cool. Then we got ourselves last Viridian Wilds Salvage. We got ourselves Feral Bark Shoulders. We got Feral Bark Cover and Spirit Ball Bindings. The shoulders are from Miss Pandaria, one of the sets for druids. And I kind of like the color scheme for this. I feel like it's a little bit better than one of the Miss Pandaria raid color schemes that druids had for like normal and heroic versions. So that's quite cool looking. And I feel like that would be cool to make a rogue set with this massive bear paw on the side. And then we also have the bracers for Spirit Ball. So those, since you can't see the bracers like almost ever, I left click to make sure they show up. I feel like they should take bracers maybe out of island chests because you never see them, so they never really sell for anything. And maybe somebody will be able to use them for gear, but very unlikely with bent gear being a thing. So maybe they should either take them out or just throw them in as an extra. So you should always get 3 items, but one of them should never be as Spirit Ball bindings. Havenswood Salvage out of the 5. This is the first one. We got ourselves 3 items. Duskhaven breeches, which we saw earlier. Duskhaven slippers to go with the breeches. And Faceless Follower's mantle. So with Duskhaven, we have Gilnean, Inhabited Woods with Feral Worgen, Old God Minions, and Necromancers. So it looks like we got ourselves the pants and the boots of a Gilnean island, and the shoulders is a recolor, but I wonder if that is related to a faction like the Old Gods, you know, since it's tentacle stuff. I mean, this is a Cataclysm shoulder recolor, but maybe it's related to the faction, or maybe it's a random piece that you can get from islands. This is my second Havenswood Salvage out of the 5. And this time we got a, what looks like a pet. We got a rep item for Krogwa for Nazmir. Dark Animator's pants. So these are, I think, are actually faction pants. These are cloth, so that would be used for like a warlock. They're a recolor of some sort, they have to be. But I think these are actually by the Dark Necromancer, so that's kind of cool. And we got the Sunscale Hatchling, which just seems like an item pet or an island pet rather than a specific thematic pet. Now for Havenswood box number 3, 4 items, and one of them is a pet and a mount. Okay, let's take a look at what everything we've got. We got Plundered Darkblade of the Old Gods, which obviously is an Old God item. Then we have Duskhaven Jacket. Aw, doesn't that look so good? Oh my god, does that look good. Imagine if you could be a rogue with a suave jacket like this. They gotta make a leather version for this thing. And it even has cuffs. Oh my god, this actually looks really, really good. I'm quite surprised. It looks a little funky with the gloves. They do shrink a little bit, but either way. Wow, that actually looks quite good. And then we got ourselves Leatherwing Screecher, which is a bat. And then we got Blood Gorge Hunter, which is a blue bat. Oh wait, this is the recolor from the store mount they had. Somebody got me a while ago, I think it was on a Christmas or New Year's, a viewer got me the store one, which is red version of this mount, but this looks actually still so good. Also, it has probably one of the coolest idle animations. It does like a little derpy flip. I kind of like this. Wow, that is actually quite cool. Then it's going to be my 4th box out of the 5 for Havenswood, and we got ourselves... we got some repeat items for sure. We got the Plundered Carapace Longsword, which I think this is actually just a strength sword, but to be able to get this as a one-hander, not something I would use, but gotta admit it's kind of funky looking. Then we got the pants, which are Dark Animator's pants. We just got them before. And Dark Animator's mantle. Now I'm starting to see what recolor of a Mog that they're using for islands. Okay, so there's the Dark Animator, the Necromancer, if you will. I wonder if that'll ever be a class in World of Warcraft. And finally, the last Havenswood Salvage. We get ourselves Crackhood Kid. We get ourselves the Dark Animator's robe. And more golden beetles. It does seem like every time they give you the rep item, at least they give you 2 of them. At least maybe this time they gave me 2. The nice robe, actually. I feel like I've seen this before. This is definitely one of the vanilla items, but this looks quite nice in this color scheme. Blizzard, make Necromancer a thing. And then of course we got Crackhoof Kid, yet another pet from Islands. Next we're gonna do 5 Snow Blossom Salvage to see what kind of goodies you can get from those. We start us off with Rusted Horde Insignia, but we get a 1 stack, so when I talked about how sometimes I feel like with rep stuff you always get 2, no, sometimes you just get 1, which is a bit disappointing because, well, it's rep stuff, but I guess it does cost quite a bit for the salvage coins themselves. You do get a Plundered Swarmer's Blade, which is a Calaxy item, and a Swarm Fury Gloves, which is a Warlock piece of loot. I do like the recolor of that, at least the gloves. Imagine if that was leather. Then we got a second box for Snow Blossom Salvage with 3 more items. One of them is different. It is Plundered Amber Stinger. Pretty sure that's a recolor, but I don't think I've actually ever seen this anywhere. Is this from one of the raids from Mop? It must be. Then we got ourselves wrists, which no one is gonna see, and wrists again. Now that's gonna be the worst, dude. When you get 2 sets of wrists, this would be one of those items that's just like the worst. So I guess in a sense, this is literally a loot box. This is gonna be my 3rd box for Snow Blossom, unless it's 4th, because I'm starting to lose count on these. We got ourselves a pet Snort. I like him by the name. We got ourselves a shield, Plundered Jade Fury Shield, which I think is just like a green item. I don't think it's a raid item, but could be. We got ourselves a belt with the Tomb Keeper's Girdle and Tomb Keeper's Sabatons. Actually, I kind of like the color scheme for that Pandaria set. I think this is going to be my, what I think is my 4th box? I believe, unless I have it wrong, I'll need to go check the footage, but this is another Snow Blossom Salvage. We got ourselves Plundered Jade Star Blade, Pandaria Throne of Thunder reskin, I believe. Kind of cool looking. We got ourselves Swarm Fury Leg Wraps, which again, don't think this is thematic unless it's a Calaxy heavy. And we got ourselves the Tomb Keeper's Gauntlets. And finally, unless I'm gone crazy, my last Snow Blossom Salvage, which has 4 items. So we got ourselves the Fire Sting Buzzer, which is a bug. We got ourselves the Tomb Keeper's Girdle Belt. We've seen that a billion times. Storm Fury's Amos Shoulders and Storm Fury Crown. Yeah, definitely a Warlock Wreath color. So the Salvage Crate system, basically a loot crate, but we'll call it Salvage Crate since that is the actual name for it. It is exactly a loot crate. But it is also a nice way for us to get rid of all those extra doubloons. With patch 8.3 comes the neck grinding again. So everybody is going to be doing islands, at least those weekly caps, once a week, in order to get a bulk of AP every single time you do them. Since everybody's going to be doing them, everybody's going to start getting a lot more doubloons since you're running islands. Not always do you get a piece of loot or some sort of a rare drop whenever you complete an island, be it on Mythic, Heroic, or Normal, or even PvP. Normally, the higher the difficulty, the higher the chances are for you to get something good out of them, but usually you don't get anything. So this is going to be a nice way for people to do the islands. You'll get doubloons, sometimes you'll get good loot, and sometimes you won't. And even when you don't get any good loot, you will still get doubloons, which you can save up and eventually be able to purchase a crate. Now what you can do with this too is if you're someone who loves collectibles and you're trying to collect a certain transmog or a certain mount from a specific island, you could save up those doubloons over weeks, and once the doubloon vendor has that crate from that specific island, or that island with specific factions that you're looking for, let's say you're trying to get the Squawks mount, and I don't know if they'll add the Squawks or the pirate faction eventually into those crates, but you could save up doubloons and then dump all of them for a chance to get that rare item you want from either the island itself, the mobs on the island, or whatever it may be. So I think it's a decent way of you to at least have something to drain all your doubloons into. I think it's kind of cool. I think some people will be able to use the system. I think this is going to be useful for anybody who is farming islands for those rare items. It'll be more of a way for you to get more turn in and churn out for the different loot you get from the islands. Instead of just running islands and hoping you get something, now you can run islands, hope you get something, and use all those doubloons from those islands you ran to accumulate the currency that's in game in order to maybe get lucky. Of course, this is also a lot of RNG. I know how people sometimes hate RNG, but I think this is at least a decent system to start with. Maybe Blizzard will actually eventually, towards the end of the expansion, will add a vendor where you can invest absorbent amount of those doubloons to buy a specific mount or a specific transmog that you would instead like. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see all of you guys in another video.